Hello, happy Sunday. So, your reaction to the title of this would be the reaction if somebody literally went into the dating relationship and was like, why date when we could just skip straight to marriage? So, before we get started, I do want to go through a couple housekeeping things. First off, this is not my normal setting. As you can tell, there are boxes behind me, my bed is behind me. We are actually moving in about 3 weeks. So we are in full pack and go mode at this time. And then a lot of you know that I went into the hospital the second week of June. I was sick the first week of June. I was sick actually quite a bit in May also. And then was only in for a few days, but then it's been doctor's appointments and uncertainty and are we going to have surgery or we're not going to have surgery. And so pretty much the entire month of June, I did not get a lot of anything done. So I would love to tell you that I am back to giving you all a new video every single week, but that is not where we're at this point. But I want to use this to encourage you guys, those of you who are building your business and going through a lot of life, just like I am at this point, that sometimes something is better than nothing. So you may not be able to put out a video every week. You may not be able to do a freebie every week. You may not be able to do all of your social media activities every week, but you can do something, and something is better than nothing. Actually, I'm trying not to talk very loud. My daughter is sleeping. My husband is sleeping. It is Sunday afternoon. My mother-in-law, I'm pretty sure, is folding my laundry at this point. She has been here for 2 weeks and she's been a huge help with meals and laundry and just anything and everything that needed to be done so I could rest extra and just focus on, getting better. So trying not to be super loud. I'm in our bedroom, which is in the back part of the apartment, but again, just trying to be mindful that there are 3 other people living in this space with me. So there is the little bit of housekeeping that is out of the way. Now, just like the title says, you would not ask somebody to marry you before you went into the dating relationship. That is exactly what your audience is feeling when you are asking them to put their money with you, when you've not offered anything of value for free to them yet. So today we're going to talk about the importance of having a freebie funnel in your business, as well as what freebies pair well with the products that you already have, which actually leads me into my freebie for you today, and that is the ultimate freebie guide. So I have taken and I've put together different industries, different products, and what freebie or freebies would go well with those products. So go ahead and head over to the show notes, which are linked down in the description. You can download that as soon as you are done watching this video, and that way you can start making your own freebies right away. Now, if you're new here, I'm Tanya Johnson. I have been working full-time on social media since 2016, and I help moms manage all things marriage, motherhood, and money. So this channel is for all the moms doing all of the things and truly living that hashtag boss mom life. I am of the opinion that we might as well simplify what we do daily while we are maximizing our paychecks. So how did I come to the realization that a freebie funnel was what I needed for my business? First off, I want to share with you, and I think this is super important, that for years, I was very anti creating freebies for my business. Very much I was the person that was like, why put in all the work for something that I'm going to give away for free when I could just focus on selling the product that I'm actually making money on? Now, little did I know that this system would not only 10x my income, it also would free up more than half the time that I was spending then getting and closing leads manually. And then that is the time that I would use to eventually start hanging out with my family at the pool. I learned how to get into card making and scrapbooking as a hobby because I actually had time to get a hobby. I was able to pour into my ministry of teen girls and honestly just live the dream life that I had been talking about creating since literally 2016 on social media. Now, we're not quite there yet. Let me kind of give you a timeline of how this broke down. Now, I started with network marketing, and it was honestly really good in the beginning. I started rank advancing really quickly. I was making more money than I was ever making at that point. I was invited to all of the special leadership retreats and got to meet all the really cool people that were, been at the company since basically it started. But with that came a lot of spammy tactics and a whole lot of things that led to burnout. For example, we were encouraged to message 200 to 300 people per day, cold message, like completely strangers, We were taught to post 2 to 3 times per day, and they were not value posts, which is what I post now and what I teach my clients to post. They're very much the spammy before and after pictures. This is why you should join my team. Ooh, I need engagement. So let's throw up a generic question post of, do you like ketchup or mustard on your hot dogs? I need to know. Do you put salt on your watermelon? I need to know. Let me know in the comments. And then those god-awful giveaways that were, again, very spammy, and Facebook actually started shutting accounts down, mine included. I'll get to that story in a minute. Of the posts that we were giving away thousands of dollars, or trips to Disney World, or I need an old-fashioned baby name. Go ahead and drop your, grandma's name in the comments. Stuff that I look back on now and I completely cringe, but that's what we were taught to do, so that's what I was doing. Now, eventually, we were taught what's called attraction marketing, but I found out later all attraction marketing is the same old salesy post, but put out in a little bit prettier way. So I was still spamming friends and family. I still wasn't adding value to anybody, but I would proudly proclaim, oh no, we're different here. We do attraction marketing. And again, I look back at the memories that pop up my page, and yes, they were very well crafted, very well put together, pretty pictures. They weren't spammy anymore, but they were absolutely not of any value to anybody unless they joined my team or bought into my products. And again, the money was coming in, but it was not sustainable, and the turnover rate in my team was huge because not everybody could learn how to post the way that I was and how to craft content the way I was, because all I knew is I was taking the braggy posts about how much money I was making and then putting a pretty picture of me at the pool or doing whatever I was doing and making it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So this was from 2016 all the way up through 2019. And then 2019 through 2022, that is when we were getting all the perks of network marketing, but my eyes were starting to open just a little bit. Now, in 2019, my business completely blew up because I started taking some marketing classes, and then I eventually hired my online business coach. And she helped me connect the dots on some things that I was not doing very well. My paycheck was definitely suffering because of it. So my paycheck exploded. I was finally doing more than just the aesthetically pleasing spam posts. And then all of a sudden, I started getting brands offering to pay me to post on my social media with products they would send me for free. So all along, I've been talking about getting paid to post, and finally, I was learning how to actually get paid to post. I thought getting paid to post was I would post something and people would order my product, so, oh, look, I'm getting paid to post. In reality, no one was paying me to actually post on social media. And then brands started sending me products and then giving me flat fees, sometimes several $100s, just to post their product on my page, share it with my audience, because I learned how to do actual marketing. So then what happened is other leaders in my company started seeing what I was doing. They started seeing that people were sharing my posts all over the place. And all of a sudden, again, my business was blowing up. So they started asking me to train their teams. Then I had leaders in other companies start asking me to train their teams. Now, I loved it. I'm a teacher by trade and by passion, so I was doing what I love to do, which is teaching. The problem is in network marketing, you don't get paid to teach. You get paid to recruit and to sell products. That is it. So all of a sudden, I'm finally working in my passion, but now I don't have a way to get paid from that because that was against the rules and compliances with network marketing. I couldn't charge for any kind of social media training. Now, my coach suggested that I become a coach. I was not ready to do that yet. I felt like I was not qualified. Yes, I had a thriving network marketing team, but I did not have a thriving, actual online business outside of network marketing. So I wasn't on board with the coaching. I still was not on board with the freebie funnel. What I was on board with was the value-based marketing, which I'd been doing for a while and it was working. And then I was on board with creating my own digital products. So what I did is I created a digital network marketing planner, and I did not realize that these were going to sell like hotcakes, but they did. And that was really awesome to see something I actually created bringing in a really large revenue at that point. And so I kind of ran with that. I was still doing my network marketing, but then I was doing my own digital products on the side. 2021 is when I built my first freebie funnel. Remember, I already had some digital products. So at this point, My coach had convinced me that a freebie funnel was the way to go. The way that she convinced me is, remember I told you we did all of those spammy giveaway posts? Well, in 2018, I think, a lot of us started getting our social media pages shut down. We weren't really given a reason why other than we're going against compliance. But all of us were network marketing leaders. All of us were the same kind of spammy posts. Now, I was very frustrated because I had switched to doing value-based marketing, but I was still doing those spammy giveaway posts. And I think that is why they finally shut my page down. Now, at this point, I didn't have an Instagram. I had no other way to build my business, and I was freaking out, to say the least. I remember bawling the first time that it happened, and my coach is like, I'm not going to be mean. I don't want to say I told you so, but I've told you to build an email list for a long time. Social media is not yours. And then she went on to explain that if I got my social media back, I should still build an email list because the social media algorithm is always changing. So just because I post something does not mean all of my followers are going to see it. Where when I send an email blast, it does mean that all of my email subscribers are going to see it. Now, they may not all open it, but they're all going to see it, which is a much higher return on investment than doing social media alone. And then she reminded me that it takes 7 to 12 times for somebody to see your products and your service for them to buy from you. So if they see it on social media and you have a conversation with them and they're just not ready to buy, what do? We put them on a follow-up list. That's awesome for like a couple hundred people, but inevitably we're going to run out of time to one by one follow up with all of these people. What we won't run out of time is if they're all on an email list. But here's what was happening with me. I was getting people left and right that wanted to join my team, but just did not have the money yet. I had a really good solution for getting a lot of leads, but most of these leads were strangers. So they had seen my product or my service one time. And then by the time I would get around to following up with them and they were ready to buy, oh, I decided I wanted to join, but I couldn't find you. I couldn't remember your name. I joined under so-and-so. So I was getting teammates and customers for tons of other distributors when I was the one that did all of the work for them. So again, talk about being a little bit discouraged at that point. And that wasn't for any fault of my own, other than I did not have an email list. I had found a way to get hundreds of leads every single month that were qualified and just needed to see that 7 to 14 times or 7 to 12 times or whatever the statistic is. But when I would post on Facebook, they weren't seeing all of that. So my follow-ups were sometimes falling on deaf ears. And then it was taking me so long to get to all of my follow-ups because, again, I had a couple thousand people on a list at this point. Well, multiple lists because my lists were like 50 people long. And I had pages and pages and pages. So I was not able to follow up with everybody in a timely manner before they were ready to buy, and I ended up losing them. And you say, well, Tanya, I don't have thousands of leads. I'm barely getting 20 leads. Don't you want to get more leads? If you want to get more leads, you need to build an email list. So when you have those leads, you're actually ready to nurture them. So I was spending all my time following up with people, getting frustrated because I was losing people through the cracks. And then I was completely burnt out at this point because I was spending so much time following up with people. Not to mention, you still had to spend the time getting the new leads. So that is what led me to my first freebie funnel. And the funny thing is, it didn't even click just because of my coach. She was the one that kept telling me to do it. But it wasn't until I was listening to a podcast from an online mentor. And I listened to her stuff all the time. So just to give a little backstory, about 5 years ago, I was listening to a Millionaire Mindset podcast. I don't remember the guy's name, but he said that every morning he listened to at least one thing that pertained to each part of his life. So he would listen to a family podcast or a book or something, a business one and a fitness one. And my first thought was, how are you making time to do all of that? Like, I don't have time to sit for 3 hours in the morning and do personal development. And then he explained when he was prepping his breakfast, prepping his meals, when he was at the gym, when he was driving to and from his office, anytime he was doing anything that did not take mental capacity, it was just like a physical job, he would put earpods in and he would listen to personal development. So 5 years ago, I started doing that. Every single day, I listened to a sermon, I listened to something business related and something homeschool, family, marriage, that side related. And so I was listening to this podcast while I was cleaning. And when it came time for her to give her freebie away, I stopped. I got my phone real quick, went and downloaded the freebie. And then it clicked. I was like, every time I listened to her podcast, I stop what I'm doing, doesn't matter what it is, and I go download whatever her freebie is. So I go download, I give her my email address, and it was like, duh, Tanya, why are you not doing this? Obviously it works because I am doing it. I'm buying into the freebie model, knowing that I am getting a ton of value. And guess what? I also was spending a ton of money with this online mentor, because just like I'm teaching you guys, when you give something away for free, people are more likely to consistently spend money with you. And then in the beginning of 2022, my husband and I got invited out to visit the corporate office, and we got to have this like exclusive meet and greet with the new CEO. And when I say exclusive, there was like 200 of us out of 100,000 reps. So it wasn't exclusive, like it wasn't just me and him and the CEO, but it was just the top people basically that were brought out to this. And they put us up in this like swanky $500 and some a night hotel, which we know because we looked it up. We're like, oh dang, this is nice. How much did they pay for this? They took care of all of our meals. They wined and dined us. But then we met the new CEO and we met the new sales team. And it was just evident that a lot of it was based on how much can you recruit. It wasn't so much selling. Every question we had or every complaint we had about paychecks dropping or our team not making money brought back to, well, what can you do to recruit more people? And it was very fast talking. A lot of the team members, and a lot of them are already gone, so that tells you it didn't last very long. But a lot of the team members were very much like used car salesmen. My husband and I left very discouraged, but we were like, you know what? We're going to stick this out for a little bit longer. We're going to go ahead and keep working. We're going to keep building how we know how to build. We are going to build in a way that, yes, maximizes our income, but without compromising our integrity. We are not focusing on just building this large team and not telling people what they're getting into, but we're going to go ahead and give it one more shot. Well, we did give it a shot. We gave it a shot for 3 to 4 months when multiple things got rolled out that were very misleading. It was very much look at my right hand so you don't see my left hand, and things were just being misconstrued in a way that I was not comfortable bringing people into the company. So my husband and I decided we're going to keep our accounts active. We're going to keep collecting the paycheck, but we're going to focus on the digital products that we actually own. Now, little did we know that come July of 2022, we would get an offer to move across country for my husband's job. We literally relocated from right outside of Chicago to South Carolina, which most of you know that they've been following me for a while. We launched 2 different brands, moved across country, all those things in the span of 60 days. And then over the last 2 years, so that would have been the end of 2022, we're now mid-2024. We checked so many things off our dream board, including living that poolside life, as well as buy our second house, which we're closing on right now. Again, hence all the boxes in the background. So that is actually being built. We're in the middle of the building process. It's supposed to be done in 2 to 3 weeks. We went by and checked on it beginning of last week, I think, middle of last week. It was not quite where I thought it was going to be. So it might not be done at the middle of July, but we'll see. We have high hopes. And it's just been so fun watching the building process and going by and like checking on it every so often. And so now I get paid literally to teach moms how to use freebie funnels in their online businesses and in their network marketing businesses. So y'all, clearly I bought into being a coach, but it was not until not only I had a successful network marketing business, but then I launched my own business successfully and was able to make successful profit with that. Then I decided, okay, I know how to do this. Let's teach other moms how to free up their time while maximizing their paychecks. Now, just to be fully transparent with you guys, this rises and falls on 2 things. My success is contributed to 1, getting over myself and hiring a coach. Now, if you're ready for that step, scroll down to the bottom of the show notes, go ahead and click on book a clarity session, and we will see if we are a good fit to work together. And then 2, it was actually taking her advice and creating the freebie funnel. And again, y'all know it took me years to do that. So don't be like me, take the shortcut sooner rather than later. And what I teach you is a very simple system to follow that centers around freebie funnels and social media branding. So having a clear brand that compels your audience to pull their debit card out and buy your product or service the first time that they hear about it. And then what you're going to find is exactly what I found. and that is people are willing to pay a lot more money to you a lot more consistently when you lead with value and give them something for free first. Now, not only will your business boom with this system, but you're going to find that when you take a break, your business doesn't. So in traditional online marketing or social media marketing or network marketing, when you take a break, your business does as well. Now, you may think that it doesn't because it takes about 3 months, about 90 days to catch up. So when you stop generating leads, about 90 days later, your business fills that. With this, you can stop generating leads and your email marketing system is still going to work on the back end to generate those leads even when you're not active. Now, I've shared my story. Let me share you the psychology behind why the freebie funnel works so well. Because yes, there's actually proof behind the system. This is not just me telling you something to get you to buy something. There's 5 scientific reasons why the freebie funnel works. Now, number 1 is it builds trust. As we mentioned, it takes 7 to 13 times for someone to see your offer before they buy it from you. When somebody downloads my freebie, they automatically see my paid product. So when they're downloading freebie after freebie, they're also seeing paid product after paid product. So eventually they trust me enough that they go ahead and buy. Now, the other way it builds trust is when someone downloads my freebie and they see the amount of time that I put into making it. These aren't janky little freebies that you can find on Etsy. These are products that you would pay for if you were not getting them for free in exchange for hopping on a freebie funnel. Now, when people see that and they open these products and they're like, dang, Tanya spent so much time on this, then they trust that I'm going to spend even more time building out my paid products. So they're a lot more likely to spend money with me because they already trust that I'm going to over deliver on what they pay for. Now, number 2, we talked about a little bit, and that is capturing leads. So again, this isn't just my opinion. If you don't have an email list, you are leaving a ton of money on the table. Now, I told you about back in 2018, 2019, when our socials were shut down. Several of my friends never got theirs back. I got mine back after 3 days the first time, and I think it went to be shut down 6 or 8 times in a year. It felt like every time I turned around, it was being shut down. That's exaggerating. It's probably once every 6 to 7 weeks, but it sucked. Like, it sucked nonetheless, right? Today, if my social media was shut down, I mean, yeah, it sucks. I still have to go and start from the ground up and build a following, but that's a very small amount of my income. All of my leads are on my email list. I also have direct offers from sponsors for videos and for different Facebook pages and different Instagrams that I run. So if one shut down, I've got several others. But the main thing is having that email list. So it captures the leads. That way, if anything happens to my social media, which again, I do not own, I have that email list to fall back on. And then number 3 is the law of reciprocity. Now, this literally just means I do something good for you, you do something good for me. And again, that is a psychological term because when someone does something good for you, you are compelled to do something good or nice back. Now, this does not work if what you're giving them is a sample, for example, because you're only giving them a sample because you want them to buy from you and they know that. So they are not compelled to do anything nice back to you because you didn't do anything nice for them. You only gave them a sample because you wanted them to buy that specific product. The way the freebie funnel works is you're giving away something totally for free. You're not saying, hey, what'd you think of this? It was just a small part of it. You want to buy the whole thing because you gave them the whole thing for free. So you did something nice. They do something nice in return for you, which happens to be supporting your business. Now, most of the time, that means buying something. Sometimes you're going to have people that just aren't a good fit for your business, or they just don't have the funds at that moment. So what they'll do is they will go and pay you back by sharing your social media posts and giving you their engagement. So that can be just as valuable when you are talking about getting referrals from social media as someone buying something from you 1 or 2 times. Now, here's the other way that the law of reciprocity doesn't work. That is when you're doing those spammy giveaway posts. And again, I did these for years. There's no shade. It built my business for a little bit. When you are entering them into a giveaway because they posted for you, that is the exchange. So you might be saying, oh, well, I put them in my giveaway. They're going to buy from me. No, the way that they paid you back for that was putting a post up for you. So the posting and the giveaway cancel each other out. So you are not getting any benefits from the law of reciprocity at that point because you had strings attached to the quote unquote nice thing that you were doing for them. So keep that in mind as well. The freebie has to be legitimate free with no strings attached and nothing expected in return. The fourth thing is just the sharing and the potential to go viral. Now, again, that only works if you are posting value-based content and value-based freebies. Because what happens if you post a value-based freebie and someone sees it and they like it, they're like, oh, let me share this to my audience and my audience might like it too. So you are getting exposure to people who were not before on your list that are then going to turn around and add themselves to your list without you ever having to contact them. And then number 5 is showing them testimonials or reviews of your products or your services. Now this part's done behind the scenes. So again, when I deliver my freebie to the inbox, usually there are testimonials of paid products attached to that. And so every time they're downloading a freebie, they're also getting a testimonial or a review. Again, 7 to 14 times, they're going to look at these and then eventually they're going to buy something from me. Now, just to give you the 50,000 foot overview of how this works. So what I'll do is I will create my freebie. I'll put up a social media post and my call to action is going to be drop a insert magic word here in the comments and I will send you out the freebie. The reason I have them do this is because it boosts engagement. So the more people that comment, the more people they're going to see the freebie post. So number 2 is when they comment, I send them my landing page. And actually next week or the week after, whenever my next video is, again, keep in mind, I'm still doing doctor's appointments. I still may be going in for neck surgery. Not 100% what they're doing yet. So give me a little bit of grace during this period. But the next video that comes out is going to be how to create a winning landing page that actually converts your leads into buyers. So that is one that you're definitely not going to want to miss. So step 2 is just sending them out that really good landing page. And then number 3 is once they enter in their email, I have an automation system set up and you can do that too. It is super simple through any kind of email campaign system. Then they're going to get an email with the freebie, with a paid product, and with testimonials. So again, a lot of the selling is done on the back end where a lot of the upfront stuff is me just giving out freebies. Now what's going to happen is even if they don't buy right away, every single week they're getting an email from me with a new freebie and a new training. Because remember, I put out content weekly. Again, I know right now, not exactly the case, but that has been the case for several years. So every week they're going to open up that freebie. They're going to get introduced to a new paid product or see an old paid product, depending on what it is that I'm sending. And then they're going to see even more testimonials and more reviews until eventually they decide to buy something. So here are 3 action steps that you can take immediately. Number 1 is go download that ultimate freebie guide and decide what kind of freebie you want to offer to your audience. Number 2 is share the idea in our Boss Mom community. We would love to not only give you feedback on it, but also collaborate with you and just encourage you as you're building out your freebie. And then number 3 is go ahead and grab a free consultation. When your freebie is done, what I'm going to do is I will personally look over it, give you any kind of feedback that you would like, so make sure that you are putting out a freebie that's going to get you leads on the back end. So those are your 3 action steps. Remember, if you want to take a shortcut, let's get on a 45-minute clarity call. And until next time I see you, I hope you have a good rest of your week.